उपविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्.
Jnana and Bhakti are alternating. First, it is Karmaja Siddhi. Karmaja Siddhi is taking him to Nishtha Jnanasya Para. Now this Jnana Nishtha is giving him the Bhakti. And that Bhakti, by that Bhakti is coming to know me, who am I and how much I am. The two are interchanging, is it not? Tattvato jnatva, he comes to know me in essence. And not only that, yavan yaschasmi, who am I and how much am I? That means in all my coordinates, all my parameters he comes to know. It is not just knowing me as in the meditation as the Nishkriya Brahma, Nishkriya Atma, non-acting stillness of the impersonal truth. In Samadhi we are coming to know the still in the stillness of the impersonal truth. It is not only that aspect. That truth has become the world. So how he has become the entire world, that also he understands by that bhakti, that supreme bhakti. That is why he said tattvato jnatva. That is yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. In essence, what I am and how much I am. So it is a knowledge of the entirety of the truth, not only in its still aspect, but in its active aspect of the world. The comprehensive Purna knowledge. Baba named his ashram as Purna Ashrama because of that. That we are, our purpose is to have that full appreciation of the truth, not going to the cave and just retiring into the Samadhi. Then why nature has given us mind and buddhi and a body? And that is not the ultimate. That same Atma has become the whole world. So even remaining active also, we should not be deviated from the truth. Then only the knowledge is full. If in the meditation we are seeing the truth and out of the meditation we are seeing the world, then it has not happened fully. That means world is still there. That truth is becoming the world. So we should not miss the truth anywhere in the world. Even if it is war also. In the war also we should not miss the truth. Tattvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. Then he enters me, he says. That knowing me, who am I and how much I am in all my details, all my parameters, he enters me. Vishate tadanantaram. Sarvakarmanyapi sada.
सर्वकर्माण्यपि सदा
कुर्वाणो मद्व्यपाश्रयः मत्प्रसादात् अवाप्नोति शाश्वतं पदमव्ययम् सर्वकर्माणि अपि सदा कुर्वाणः mat vyapashraya. See this mat vyapashraya. Vyapashraya means be apashraya. Apashraya means taking refuge. Apashraya. Vyapashraya means taking exclusive refuge. Vishesha rupena. V means Vishesha rupena. Taking exclusive refuge in me. Mad vyapashraya means taking exclusive refuge in me. Kurvanaha. Do all whatever to be done. Sarva karmani. Sada. Always do all karma taking exclusive refuge in me. Never think that I am doing, that your egoistic personality is doing something. You are being guided by me. You are in me. It is the divine who is active through your body-mind instrument. So you become an instrument of divinity then. When it is happening? After knowing tattvato jnatva. Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. that is in his all aspects, then his life is becoming divinized. Whatever he is doing as an instrument of the divine, not as an egoistic personality given to likes and dislikes and according to his own preference and prejudice. His will has got merged with the divine will. Through him, the divine purpose will be served. He is, another way you can say, he is in tune with the fundamental rhythm of nature, fundamental tune of nature. He is in tune with the infinite. So whatever he does, it is nature's work. He is going on doing that as divine will. Mat prasadat avapnoti. By my prasada, by my prasada, mat prasadat avapnoti shashvatam padamabhyam. He attains the eternal abode by my blessings. Now, this I wanted to tell you, that now see, slowly he has come to surrender. Yesterday also I said that they are bringing us from initially the philosophy, then that is Sankhya, then to Buddhi Yoga, Karma Yoga, then going through all the synthesis, that is Bhakti Yoga, etc. All have been done, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, then coming to knowledge. What is knowledge? Again, all the virtues, etc. Then coming to the Triguna Tattva. That is very important to make our sadhana practical. So that continued from 14th chapter to 18th chapter. That Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, because that is a practical sadhana. Doing that, finally here he started saying that the karma, whatever we are working, it is also designed by the three guna constitution. So 4 categories are there by the permutation combination of the 3 gunas. And each category there is a work division corresponding to. That is our swabhava or swakarma or swadharma. Now we are deviating from that because of some extraneous desire, ego, preference, prejudice, etc. But if we pursue our natural karma, whatever is our constitution, whatever we are made of, if we do it and do it without sangha, without ego, without phalechcha, phalabhogecha, if we do that, then that work becomes an offering to the Lord. By pursuing such activity offered to the Lord as yajna you say, or as offered to the Lord, he becomes fit for the jnana nishta, because the ego has gone, the preference prejudices have gone, so he can now take to the jnana nishta, which the jnana sadhana people are taking right from the beginning. They are contemplating on it because they don't have the desires. That's very few people. But generally it is not denied to anybody. He says right from the beginning, the actions you don't have to renounce, but make the actions an instrument for the attaining the same goal which the Kevala Jnana Nishtha people are also, exclusive knowledge pursuers also attaining. I will take you there. Saying that whatever you pursue according to your natural tendencies, that will bring you and make you fit for the Kevala Jnana Nishtha. And pursuing that Nishtha, then you develop the real bhakti, the Jnana Rupa Bhakti or the Shuddha Bhakti, which makes you understand me in my all aspects. Tattvataha, yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. Whatever I am in, say in meditation, in the Nishchala Rupa, in the non-acting stillness, and also while I manifest the whole universe, you know me in everything. So you don't miss me anywhere anymore. It is not that you have to go to meditation every time to know me. When you are interactive also, you are not interacting with the world because you are freed of raga tvesha. So you can remain active in the world, but in your mind you remain in the truth always. Saying that happens through the surrender. Now so far you are surrendering your action. Finally he presents what is the real surrender and how it can come. That we will take up next day. That is Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakta, that will come later. Because before that he says that I have told you everything, now you do whatever you want. You think about it, all the jnana I have given, you think and analyze everything and do whatever you like. He had left Arjuna at that point. Then he said, no, you are my most beloved, I cannot leave you like that. I have to tell you the highest secret. What is the highest secret? The Guru comes down, as the Lord comes down as the Guru before you. And you don't have to think always that am I surrendered or not. I am going to kill Bhishma. Am I doing because of my ego or I have surrendered? You do whatever I say, simply. Even if you have against feeling, you have to renounce that and do it. So thereafter he gives the message that don't tell it to everybody. Those who belittle me, don't tell it to them. Those who are dushkarma, don't tell, like that. Those verses also we will try to do the last day. Because suppose somebody belittles the knower or the Krishna here, then he will not be able to take anything from that message. To gain anything from the message, you have to have a great respect for the person who is giving you the message, otherwise it will not be there. Anasuya, you will find this word comes again and again in various places. Asuya means belittling him, that is degrading him. So if asuya is there, this knowledge will not be valuable, will not be effective. So all these things will come then. We had studied that for all the four categories, that is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, that by the natural tendencies, four broad categories have been made. But he said, and also what are the activities of each category, he has specified. But whatever the category, for all the four categories, he said that sve sve karmanyavirata samsiddhim lavate naraha. They, following their own natural activities, natural tendencies, they attain siddhi. How? Swakarma nirata siddhim yatha bindati tachunu. That I will tell you how perfection can be attained by following one's natural karma, swabhava karma or natural activity. There the first verse we should remember, yatah pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. That is from which the whole, from the truth from which the whole universe has come out, and in whom, in which the whole universe is sustained, is existing. You have to worship that truth by swakarma. That was it. But naturally the question was how to worship the truth by our own activity. So that we have discussed in elaborate manner that we are generally guided by desire motivated. Our activities are desire motivated. So whenever we do something freed of desire and ego, free of sangha and trishna or kama, then it becomes offering to the Ishvara, you say, or the ultimate truth which is pervading everywhere. He took it to that extent that asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spriha. These three conditions he said, that always not having the clinging to preference and prejudice, intolerance about whatever we are not liking and clinging to what we are liking. Everywhere, sarvatra. Jitatma means completely the whole being is under our own control. That means I had discussed how the buddhi remains anchored in the self, the buddhi guides the mind guides the sense organs, so that the whole being remains integrated. Jitatma, this word means integrated personality. In Kathopanishad, those who are attending, there it meant, the term was yuktatma. Yuktatma means all the parts of the being, they are connected to the inmost reality. Jitatma also means that. Vigata spriha, that means all desires. I have shown so many times that the desires are redundant. Once we understand their redundancy, desires will automatically fall. Naishkarmya siddhim paramam sanyasenadi gacchati. Sannyasa, I had gone back and said that phalatyaga is sannyasa in 6th chapter. Nishkriya and naniragnir nachakriya, he has clearly said. Anashrita karma phalam. Those who do not take ashraya in the final result of the karma, not the objective result. That I gain, the personal gain, that I will become happy, that is the ultimate phala. That is common to whatever the objective result is. That is different for different karma, always different. But this karma phala is same. We want to become happy by getting the result. So that is what to be renounced. Now this Naishkarma Siddhim means where there is no activity. When we get to the soul, we come to realize, come to experience the inactive soul, where there is no activity, because there is no difference at all, there is no question of any activity there. So the still non-active consciousness we come to know at that point. Now, saying that Siddhim Prapto Yatha Brahma Tathapnoti Nibodhame, here I had gone back to the 5th chapter to say the Atma Sthiti and Brahma Sthiti. Even after Atma Sakshatkara, what do? He has clearly said that the delight they get in Samadhi from the Atma Sthiti, that delight becomes always permanent in interacting with the whole world. Then only it is Brahma Sthiti. For that, what is the sadhana? Whatever we are looking for in the meditation, the soul, that we have to look for in our interactive life also. What are the soul parameters? That it is not selfish, it is universal, one, transcendental, it is unaffected by everything, it is untainted, it is the purest we can think of. Moreover, it is not the object. It cannot be known as anything different from me. It has to be known only as me, that amness. So, all that sadhana, for the interactive sadhana is necessary, by which we will establish the soul or Atma which we have known in meditation or Samadhi. That Atma has to be established in the whole world, in everything. The whole world has to be established in the Atma by this interactional sadhana, by always making the mind purified of its selfishness, constrictions, desires and whatnot. He says that Siddhim Prapto Yatha Brahma Tathapnoti Nibodhame. How he attains Brahman, that you listen from me. Samasenaiva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya yapara. So he is saying that this attainment of the Brahman is the nishtha. Nishtha means the full dedication to the knowledge. Now see how initially Arjuna said that I want to take to Krishna in the 2nd chapter. You are saying that Sankhya, the knowledge of the soul is so great and I have felt it to be like that also. Why are you putting me into this ghora karma, the war, like that? I would like to take up sannyasa, I would like to stay in the forest, live on bhiksha vritti and attain that. Krishna said, no, you are not fit for that. That is only because you are given to, even now you are thinking about how to conquer Duryodhana and all, your mind will not be fit for this practice, pursuit. So you do karma yoga, which means, and which is the same as buddhi yoga, that means establish, anchored the intelligence in the truth, and always through whenever you are doing activities, you try to expand your mind and purify your mind and intelligence, so that you can always remain anchored in the soul. Now once he had attained the Atma Sakshatkara, Naishkarma Siddhim Paramam Naishkarma Siddhim, Sannyasena Adhigacchati. This is not external sannyasa. Already we have said that Bhagavad Gita is talking about the internal sannyasa. Similarly, Naishkarma Siddhi also is internal. It is not that he doesn't do anything outside. At that point in the Samadhi, he attains the Naishkarma Atma, that which is not moving, not involved in any of the worldly activities. After that, what happens? That whole Karma Yoga gets transformed into Nishtha Jnanasya Yapara. It is becoming Jnana Yoga, which he denied Arjuna in the beginning. He says, after you have performed the Karma Yoga and attained this Siddhi, it becomes your pursuit. That Jnana Nishtha. Then how to attain what is this jnana nishtha? Buddhya vishuddhaya yukto dhrityatmanam niyamya cha shabdadin vishayam styaktva ragadvesha vidasya cha. This we have done up to 53. What are the pursuit of the jnana nishtha? To pursue the jnana nishtha, you have to remove whatever is the obstacle to jnana nishtha. What is jnana? Jnana is the soul which is impersonal, all-pervading, untainted, unaffected. So whatever qualities are hindering that actualization, they have to be removed. This ahankara balam darpam, ahankaram balam darpam, all these are hindering because they are making our mind constricted. All are darpa means pride of a certain nature. Balam means the capacity or the power we have on the basis of some desireful things, not the other bala strength they are talking about. Ahankara, they are all always constricting our buddhi, constricting our mind. We should remember that they are making my identity small. This much if you remember, then it is fine. So whatever is making us constricted, making us selfish, making us small, those have to be eliminated. That is nishtha jnanasya yapara. So buddhi has to be anchored in the soul, in the parameters of the soul, and applying that in our interactions. Always we will try to eliminate all the qualities which are opposing the soul, which are opposing the infinitude, opposing the impersonality, opposing the purity, opposing that untaintedness, unaffectedness. Is it clear? Now, saying that, he says that Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. See, 53rd verse, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. He becomes fit to attain Brahman. Kalpate means fit to, deserving. That means he becomes fit to attain Brahman. Then he says, is another section here, that what happens to a person who becomes Brahmanishta. This also we have done, that Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tadanantanam. These two shlokas form the other section. We should mark in the book, otherwise you will forget later on. Nothing will remember. Why other section? See, the jnana initially is working on buddhi, and that buddhi you are anchoring in the soul parameters, so to say. So you are enlarging the buddhi, purifying the buddhi, sharpening the buddhi, removing all the constrictions, selfishness, etc. You are making the buddhi free. But at a certain point, the sadhana must go over to the plane, the emotional plane. It is not just the buddhi. When the sadhana gets promoted to the emotional plane, then a great change arises. Then the bhakti dawns. What is that? It's a delight, an adoration, a feeling of gratitude towards this great which the buddhi has realized. See, only बुद्धि से आप सोचेंगे कि वे असीम है, इनफाइनाइट है, सब कुछ बोलिए, फिर भी मन में कोई परिवर्तन नहीं आने वाले हैं. मन में परिवर्तन लाने के लिए उसमें भावना चाहिए, इमोशनल एसोसिएशन है इसे. इट हैज टू बी एसोसिएटेड विद द इमोशन. व्हाट इज द इमोशन? दैट फॉर द ग्रेट, व्हाट शुड बी आवर इमोशनल एटीट्यूड? वी शुड feel gratitude, we should feel love, we should feel delight thinking about it. So we are getting promoted to the devotional level. This bhakti I had explained the other day, it is the fourth kind of bhakti, jnana rupa bhakti. That where he has said, chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritano arjuna, arto jijnasu artharthi, jnani cha bharatarshava. Artaha means those who are in difficulty, jijnasu means curious, artharthi means those who want some prosperity, etc. Last one is the jnani. And so many shlokas I read out that, the 3-4 shlokas which says the jnani is the most favorite, and because he is always connected to the Atma. Through his buddhi, he is always connected to that. So this bhakti when it dawns, it is the Jnana Mishra, Jnana Rupa Bhakti. It is called Para Bhakti. It is not Khanda Bhakti which initially we may have, going to the temple, worshipping, doing puja, etc. There that vastness of the truth, the vastness of God or the vastness of divine has not dawned. We are having our very preferential puja to our own deity. Do you get it? There it's a very constricted, selfish bhakti. So this bhakti is not that. Jnana Rupa Bhakti is bhakti for the infinite. For the infinite, you become in tune with the infinitude, infinite. And correspondingly, it fulfills you with a delight which is called bhakti. The bhakti is a great, intense delight. We call it sometimes ecstasy also. Because you feel the expansion. It's no question of understanding only with the buddhi. It's a feeling associated with that. This is what is the meaning of these two shlokas. They have, that is why he says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Abhijanati means he knows. The ultimate result has to be a knowledge. Because why are we missing the soul? Why are we thinking I am small? Ajnana. It's an ignorance. I don't know that I am that the soul is universal and I am that. So it is basically an ajnana and ignorance. So finally that ignorance has to go. But to remove that ignorance fully, that purpose of bhakti also has to, the bhakti has to be fully incorporated in that. So bhaktya mam abhijanati. By that bhakti he comes to know what? Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. What I am really in my, say, in my pristine nature as he has known in samadhi, and also how am I in the world. That it is not only to be known in samadhi as a nischala consciousness or atma. The whole world is appearing in that atma. We cannot miss that atma anywhere. Then only the knowledge becomes complete. So that, to have that completeness and wholesomeness, that bhakti is essential, the jnana rupa bhakti. Tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. That, but what is happening is the knowledge. Tattvataha means in essence, in all my characteristics. When he comes to know, then he enters me, anantaram. Vishate mam, he enters me. Who is saying enters me? Krishna. Who is Krishna? Who has identified with that universal atma. So entering Krishna, Krishna is not that, so Bhagavad Gita has become invalid then. Suppose you say that Krishna is no more there, how can you enter Krishna? And how can you otherwise also enter Krishna? He was having a body. You cannot enter his body. So whenever Krishna is saying mam, it means that Krishna whose identity is the universal soul, Brahman. So anybody entering Krishna means he is also identifying with the universal soul.